Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today on our map, you can see the massive U.S. military base of Fort Benning. And this is going to be our segue into another lesson in insanity. And Fort Benning is home to the United States Infantry Training Command. They also train armored vehicle crewmen at Fort Benning. Units that are currently based at this massive, sprawling military base include the 198th Infantry Brigade, 197th Infantry Brigade, 199, 194th, and the 316th Cavalry Brigade. All of these are training units. It is home to airborne and ranger training. The Henry Caro Non-Commissioned Officer Academy, 14th Combat Support Hospital of the 44th Medical Brigade. You have a task force, 1st of the 28th, 48th Infantry Brigade Combat Team, 75th Ranger Regiment Army Marksmanship Unit, 283rd MCOE Band, 17th Air Support Operations Squadron, Western Hemisphere Institute for Security and Cooperation, United States, obviously, Armor School, United States Army Infantry School, and the list goes on. But so why am I showing such a large U.S. military base centered on the training of individual United States soldiers? Well, back to lessons in insanity is the current issue of the problems that U.S. Army, U.S. Marine Corps, U.S. Navy, U.S. Air Force recruiters are having in recruiting individuals for the U.S. Armed Services. Many recruiters right now are 50% behind projected goals in terms of filling out the military occupational specialties inside of the U.S. Armed Forces. And I wanted to talk about the two key reasons why the U.S. is now having problems recruiting soldiers, airmen, Marines into the armed forces. And there are two root causes right now, and they have both are self-inflicted. The first one, and the one that is probably the most insidious, is the U.S. school system. So when a recruiter desires to go to a certain high school and talk to a high school senior about the U.S. military, the benefits, and see if they're a possible right fit to enter the U.S. military, many schools inside of the United States right now are not allowing U.S. Army recruiters to show up on campus. And if they do, many of them are requiring that they pre-announce, and they also are limited to a certain amount of visits per year. So I know locally, some of the schools in the area that I reside in will not allow U.S. Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, Coast Guard recruiters on campus. Or again, they will tell them, look, you can show up. You got to let us know, but you can only do 2 visits a year, which is completely unreasonable. Furthermore, it is the ideology that is being preached in these schools as well. It is absolutely a anti-American, anti-United States military teaching program that is in a lot of United States high schools, grade schools. And then furthermore, most high schools are attempting to funnel all students into some sort of college program, which, as I've talked about before, is just further indoctrination that is occurring in a lot of these colleges. But the reality is students that are coming out of high school. That is where the U.S. military usually recruits from. And the only schools where recruiting efforts are still going okay is in schools that have JROTC units, which is Junior Recruiting Officer Training Corps. And then obviously there are schools that have not completely adopted the kinds of just insane far left radical woke ideology that we're seeing in a lot of school systems right now. So that is one of the big issues for U.S. Army recruitment, is the simple fact that they can't recruit in high schools, and it's a really tough sell, especially if you have impressionable students that are also being indoctrinated by some of these radical teachers that now exist in these teaching institutions. Look, not all teachers are like that. There are some very, very fine teachers that are still out there. But based on what I see and what I hear, is a minority. A lot of the teachers that are now active have themselves obviously gone through college programs where they have been further indoctrinated into their far left ideology, and are now attempting to persuade young people who are in high school to further their indoctrination by going into college and picking up some sort of worthless degree in the humanities, in which that is not applicable to any job on the outside world. But that's not what it's about. It's not about getting the students a good job. It's about indoctrination. Excuse me. The next big issue for recruitment of U.S. Armed Forces personnel is something known as Project Genesis. Now, I don't know a lot about this, but I have heard about it. So let me take you back to when I joined the military and what that looked like in terms of checking out an individual soldier for any sort of medical issues that would disqualify them from getting into military service. So when I entered, I went into a medical in-processing facility, and I spent the day there, probably the better part of a day, going through a battery of tests and being asked questions by doctors. And they did a blood test, an eye test. They had you do the funky walk on your knees and just check you out and make sure there wasn't anything wrong with you and you were fit to serve. Now, obviously, if you declared that you were asthmatic or something like that, that was a disqualifying factor. And if you were able to not divulge any very early childhood ailments, or if you did, and then you could proceed with a waiver, you could then get into the armed forces with no problem. Now what's happening with this Project Genesis is a third-party contract organization. It's ran by a third-party contract organization that is able to pull the juvenile medical records of a prospective soldier. So they're not even asking questions. They're just going right into the medical records. And if they see that a prospective soldier had an inhaler, that is an instant disqualification. So that process, Project Genesis, is one of the leading causes right now outside of the indoctrination that is occurring inside of the school system to steer young men and women away from the military. But now you have Project Genesis as well, which is also disqualifying huge amounts of prospective of soldiers. I mean, you have children who may have been misdiagnosed with, say, ADHD and had ADHD medication for a very short period of time, and that can be a disqualifying factor. Again, the whole if you were given prescribed an inhaler, again, disqualified. And this Project Genesis is really eliminating a lot of very good candidates that would like to serve, yet they can get into your juvenile medical records and apparently see everything that is going on. That is what I have been told that Project Genesis is, what it looks like, and it is hampering recruiting efforts for the United States military. If you know something about this, please comment in the comment section. And I'd like to know more and understand more about this, if possible, Project Genesis. And if you don't know anything about it, completely understand. But again, those are the two leading factors right now. One, the big issue is the school system, not allowing recruiters in, and then also being anti-military, anti-American. And again, the Project Genesis that is also occurring. But I just wanted to cover that. Another lessons in insanity on how our society here in the United States has decided to destroy itself with this new cultural revolution, this woke cultural revolution that is taking place inside of the United States and other nation states as well. We're going to have to get a grip on this and kill it at some point, unfortunately. Or I wouldn't say unfortunately. It's going to have to happen. That's it for today. Have a good day.